Hi, welcome to episode 525 of the Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy Kira on Instagram and over on Blue Sky. I blog at thecornerofknitandtea.com, which is where this episode and every episode show notes will be. And I have an Etsy shop called The Corner of Knit and Tea, where I sell my handspun yarns and knitting patterns. Hi, how are you? I am actually recording a day early because by the time you see this, I will be out of town on a work trip. And so I didn't want to miss another week. So I decided that I would go ahead and record. So it is Sunday morning, about 11 a.m. It is already in the high 80s outside. So it is going to be a scorcher today. And I have a variety of things to do, including finishing packing for the trip. My book club is meeting this afternoon. I have to drop off a quilt that is going to be in the local quilt show. My little star is going to be part of our guild presentation for a local quilt show that's going to be next weekend. So I have to do that and pick up a few snacks and other things for my trip. And then maybe I'll be ready to go. I don't know. I feel like everything's coming fast this week, but lots going on. I don't have a ton to show you because this week was quite busy at work prepping for this big event that we have this coming week. And then I'm just trying to kind of dot all my I's and cross all my T's. And so I didn't have a ton of time to craft. But I brought two projects that I'm thinking about casting on, which I don't usually do, but they're both kind of vying for my attention right now. And I suspect I will cast on one of them probably next weekend. So I thought I would show you what I have and talk about what I might be doing. So I do have a few things to show you. The primary project that got attention this week is the only thing that is left on the needles for me, and that is my niece and her husband's blanket. I decided to knit this sort of as part of their wedding, although I missed the wedding. Oops, there's fabric in here. Although I missed the wedding, and then I also missed the first anniversary because I had so much trouble with my tendonitis last year. But this year, I am gonna make it. I am on the last skein of yarn, and I am enjoying knitting this, but also happy to see it come to an end. This has been a nice knit. I don't mind blanket projects. I like bigger projects, but I have been working on this for well over a year now, probably almost 2 years. And so, well, let me think about this. Her wedding was in October, and I probably bought this stuff right after that. So yeah, I've been working on this for 1.5 to 2 years, and so I'm ready for it to come to an end. The blanket that I'm knitting is Pearl Soho's Mosaic Blanket. It's a really, really pretty pattern, and I am doing it in their wedding colors, which were kind of a deep red and a black. The yarns that I am using are Barocco Comfort, and that is 100% acrylic yarn. I think a part of it is... Gosh, I can't remember, and I know you know what? Hang on. I threw the labels away last night because I had a whole stack of them. I have been using it in licorice and beetroot. Licorice obviously being the black one and beetroot being the red one. It is a DK weight, a little over 200 yards to a skein. I am going to have about 11 skeins in this, so that's going to be about 2,200 yards. It's not as big as I was hoping. Mosaic, I don't know that it eats yarn, but it is not as, the tension is a little different because you're always slipping stitches in the back. And basically you're working each row sort of twice. Anyway, so it is a lovely pattern. I've enjoyed knitting it. It is a free pattern from Pearl Soho on their website. It comes in baby sizes. I enlarged mine quite a bit. It comes in a couple different sizes. It's got like a baby and a throw, and I went bigger than that. I just basically took the yarn I had and did some calculations, and it's not going to be as big as I had hoped, but it'll be big enough. I ended up choosing acrylics to go with because they have 2 rescue pit bulls, and I assume that everybody's going to be snuggling with these blankets, and so I wanted it to be easy care so that she can throw it in the washing machine and dryer, and I just think it will hold up better with pets, and they don't have kids, and I don't think they're going to, but I just think it will hold up better. So at this point, it is quite big. So this is where I started, and I'm going to work and then bind off in the black to just sort of make it match because I think that'll be nice. And then I will weave in all of my ends, which I have not been doing as I have been going, which is not terrible, but not great because it's 11 skeins, so that's 22 ends. So I'll have plenty to weave in. And then it will be time to wash it, and their anniversary will come up in October. So I'll be done earlier this year, but that is just fine with me because, like I said, it's been a long-term project, and I will get it to them for their second wedding anniversary. So I think you're almost done seeing this one. You might see it another time or two, depending on if I bring it back before it's done. But it's definitely a chunk, and I am enjoying it, but am ready to finish it and move on. So that is all in the knitting category this week. I'm going to cover spinning real quick, and then I'll show you a little bit of the progress I've made on my quilt, and then we'll talk about upcoming knitting projects. Oh, I realized I did not even do the tea. I'm really bad at this. Like, you would not know I've done 525 episodes. The tea I'm drinking today is really cool. So I just ordered it. It is blackberry jasmine iced tea, and it is from Smith Teas. And I was introduced to Smith Teas from Church Mouse Yarn and Teas because it is the brand of tea that they carry, but Smith has their own website, and they were advertising this one. It's blackberry jasmine iced tea, which has jasmine green tea from China, orange peel, butterfly pea flower, which turns it blue, blackberry mango, and pineapple natural flavors. And so what I do is it has sachets in here, and I usually brew it hot, and then you mix it in a pitcher of cold water, and you can add some ice too if you want. And so I brewed it up today, but this is the color. It is blue. I know, naturally occurring blue foods. Anyway, that is lovely. It is light and tropical, and it's definitely got that jasmine in there, which I love. I bought it because I thought it would be good for summer, and actually a friend and I split it because we both wanted to try it, so I'm going to give her half the packets in there. But I'll have a few more pitchers of iced tea to make. And yes, I made a whole pitcher of iced tea the day before I leave on a trip, but I'm going to take some of it with me. So, because I'm going to take a big mug. I'm driving up to Hamilton, so it's not a big deal. It's not like I have to fly. So, spinning wise, I don't really have anything to show you because the bobbin is on the wheel. As I showed you last week, I had finished the first bobbin of a combo spin, and I'm working on the second. And this is, I cannot remember what the name of the fiber is, but it is, from Hello Yarn, and it is the second half of what I was spinning. If you remember, the first one looked like this. So it's got the pink and the yellow in there and sort of some of the dark, and this one was a completely different braid. It was from Kim Dye's Yarn, and it had black fibers in there, which is how I got that marled bit in there, but it was, she calls it a pink taupe, but it's kind of, I thought it was like a pink or a lavender tint to the braid, and then it had sections of pink and yellow in it, and it kind of matched the pink and yellow, and then I thought the blues would be a nice touch, and I don't know, for some reason I just thought that these would ply together really well. So this is about a third of the fiber. I'm almost 2/3 of the way through spinning that. Of course, I won't be home much this week, so I don't know. I could potentially finish the bobbins by the next time I see you. I don't think I'll have the whole spin finished. So I'm working on this week, and this is a delight to spin. This one was merino. I cannot remember what this one is. It feels like it might be merino, or it might be Falkland. It's a little bit longer stapled, but it's very, very soft. Might be Tarhi. I'll bring the specifics next time, but that is what I am working on in my spinning. And like I said, the bobbin is on the wheel because for these, I am going ahead and spinning the full 4 ounces onto, usually I divide my fiber. Usually I spin a 4-ounce braid, so I divide it in half and I put 2 ounces on each bobbin and then ply together. Because I'm doing 2 full braids this time, I'm putting 4 ounces on each bobbin and then I will ply them together. So that is why I don't have anything to show you yet, but I do have some fiber. So that is what's going on with my spinning. And then the final thing is my quilting. And last week I showed you my Halloween quilt, and I had done the front and the back. And so this weekend I basted it all together and pinned it together, and I started. And I am really, really pleased. I didn't get very far by the time I got done, but I did because I was working on other things this weekend and packing and various things. But I got the first little bit done, and I'm really excited about it. So as a reminder, this is my strip quilt, and what I was talking about doing was doing some straight lines through. You can sort of see this one here, and it is not straight at all. But I did some straight lines through, kind of some diagonally lines through, so that then I could build a spider web. And I wanted to show you, it's easier to see on the back, but here is how far I've gotten. So let me show you the right section. There you go. that is what I've got so far. So you can see the lines are not straight in the least, but I am just working my way out from the center. Sorry, there are still threads here because I haven't woven them in. And I am just going to go round and round and round, sort of like a spider web. And I am just eyeballing this. There's no measurements, but I'm trying to keep it roughly consistent and then just do roughly straight lines between these. These are short enough that I'm able to sort of keep them straight. You can see that these lines kind of waver a little bit, but I don't think it's going to matter when I'm done. And this is the exact effect that I was looking for. You won't be able to see it super clearly on the front. You can see it a little bit, but not as well as on the back. So you can see a little bit right in here what I'm doing. But I thought the effect on the back would be really cool if I use the orange thread, because again, as a reminder, the back is mostly just plain black. I've got a little bit of these strips at the side, but mostly it's just plain black. So I thought it would just be fun for a kid's quilt to kind of have that on the back. So I'm really pleased with that. I doubt I'll work on it next weekend. Next weekend, I am actually working a shift at the Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival, which starts, and we actually sort of planned it this way. So my work event is Missouri Star Academy, which is at Missouri Star Quilt Co. up in Hamilton. And it is an event full of classes and shopping opportunities, vendor demos, all kinds of things. And it is taking place in Hamilton, Missouri on Tuesday the 10th and Wednesday the 11th. They planned it that way because it also coincides with the fact that the Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival is this week, running Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the thought was that anyone coming in from out of town could just take the week off, could attend our event Tuesday, Wednesday, and then could go down to the Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival. For those of us here at home, and those of us who work for Missouri Star, what that means is I am driving up to Hamilton early tomorrow morning to help with setup all day tomorrow. Then I'll be working the event Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm going to be a classroom assistant in the embroidery classroom both days, which I'm very excited for. Then I come back home Wednesday night, and then I was encouraged by the Modern Quilt Guild, the Kansas City Modern Quilt Guild, which I'm a part of, to take part in the festival this week. I did not take off Thursday and Friday because I'm so close to my other vacations. But I am working a shift at the conference on Saturday. Our guild meeting is also this week on Thursday night. So this is just going to be a crazy week for quilting and all kinds of things. And so I don't think that there's going to be a lot of crafting between now and then. So I don't know how much I'll have to show you at my next podcast. But there's a lot going on. There's a ton going on. So I will say that I will have one more really great crafty weekend before I go on summer vacation, before the end of the month, because my husband is going to be taking a 5-day bike trip, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So in 2 weeks, I will be all by myself for 5 days, and I plan to finish this quilt and definitely get started on a bunch of other things. And so I have big crafting plans, and then of course I have projects I'm going to take with me on my trips. So I'm excited about stuff that's upcoming, but this week is just going to be busy, 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 and of course all quilt focused. So, and I am taking knitting with me on my work trip, but I also wouldn't be surprised if in the evenings I'm too tired to do too much of it. I am not coming home each night, even though Hamilton is about 90 miles from where I live. And it's a totally doable trip. It's about an hour and a half if there's no traffic. But when I do events in town and I'm there early in the morning and stay till late in the evening, I prefer not to come home if I don't have to. And they are lovely about putting me up in a hotel. So I will actually be away Monday and Tuesday night in a hotel, and then I'll come home Wednesday night kind of exhausted and then finish off the week. So that is what's going on. And if you are in Missouri, if you are here for the Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival, or you are in Hamilton, please let me know. Feel free to reach out. I would love to meet up with you. I don't totally expect that you will, because I know this is a knitting and spinning podcast, but I just thought I'd put that out there because there will be a bunch of lovely events and I will be at them and mostly working them, but I'll be walking around a little bit just to see what's what. So I'm excited because it's my first quilt festival. And so I will definitely, I'm working a shift on Saturday morning at the local quilt festival, and then I will have the rest of the day to wander around. I bought a ticket so I could attend. So I'm excited about that. I'm not taking any classes because the only classes I could take were on Saturday, and I just didn't. It was a little overwhelming. I just didn't. I think this is a conference that happens every other year, maybe. And so I definitely will in the future because it's a great resource. But between being busy in Hamilton the first few days of the week and everything else, I just didn't have time to do it. So that kind of sums up what is going on in my life right now and the crafting that I have done or not done. What I wanted to talk to you about is I am dying to cast on a summer top, and I have a summer top that I would like to take with me on vacation, but I know myself, if I cast it on now, I might get far enough into it that it would be that I would finish it on vacation and then not have anything to knit. And the point of taking, I selected, a couple weeks ago, I went to Kentucky and I came back with 2 skeins of yarn that I told you I was going to turn into a summer top. I decided that was going to be my vacation knitting because it's 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, which means it's almost nothing. I can shove it into a bag. It's easy to travel with. And particularly on our first trip, I like to go luggage light because I have to carry everything myself. And we do a lot of getting on and off in buses, staying in a hotel for the night, carrying your luggage out the next day, those kinds of things. And wheels are not even the best for that. So we take big camping backpacks, and so weight is a premium. And anything I can jettison, I do. So I am waiting to do that project because I only want to take those 2 skeins. And I know if I start that early, I will run out of knitting on the trip, and I also don't want to do that. So I have been looking at summer tops and been dying to cast on other things, and so I thought I would probably cast on something before I go. Yes, it'll have a big break in between, and I'll come back and finish it eventually. So originally, what I had thought about doing was the eyelet raglan, and this is in a series of a couple different patterns sorry, I have some plastic, a couple different patterns by Layla Raven, who is a lovely designer, and she designed this top, and she knit it in, I think, she knit it in, it's a 2 textured top, plus it's a top knit in 2 yarns for different textures, and then it's got eyelets in it, and it was knit in a linen yarn, and then she combined it with, I think, a Surrey alpaca or a mohair, which I understand why she did it because it was 2 different textures. But if I'm thinking about something that I'm knitting in linen for summer, that's very eyelet and almost a very beach cover up, or like wear it over a tank top, I'm really not thinking about doing something in alpaca or mohair, because to me that just, well, first of all, mohair I find itchy, but that also just makes it hot, and I'm really just not interested in hot for summer. So I went to my friend Christine, who is Treasure Goddess Yarns. Yes, this is going to be another Treasure Goddess Yarns extravaganza. I went to my friend Christine and I bought 3 skeins of her bamboo linen treasures in Fathoms Deep. I used this to knit a top last year and I absolutely loved it. It's gorgeous. It's a fingering weight yarn, and she has started dyeing this. It's a great blend. It's a little not crunchy, well, a little crunchy. It's a little crunchy in the skein, but once you wash it and wear it, it gets better and better and better. And it is not indicated on the label. It says hand wash, cool water, steam block. I have been putting mine in the washer and the dryer, and it just gets softer and softer and softer. So it's not recommended, but mine has been doing fine and I love it, and it just is a joy to wear. So I bought some of this originally. I bought 3 skeins of this one because I thought that was what I wanted to do. And then I thought about the top, and Christine also dyes a lace weight yarn, and so this is her merino lace weight yarn, and I asked her if she could dye it in a colorway to match. And the deal is that this is plant fiber, so she dyes these with I think Procyon dyes, and she had never tried putting the Procyon dyes on the merino, and this is what she got. So it's not like 100% a match, but it's definitely close enough. And in the original top, they actually were 2 different colors, so it doesn't matter to me. I wanted something that would be close, and so that is kind of what I'm thinking about doing. And I will put links to the pattern in the show notes because it is available on Layla Raven's site, so you don't even have to be on Ravelry to do that. And it comes in a couple different patterns. There is a raglan version, there is a drop shoulder version, and then I think there is some kind of an accessory, because I think it's 3 patterns in a booklet, and I think the 3rd pattern might be like a shawl or some kind of accessory, all using basically the same pattern stitches, but just slightly different methods of construction. So that's the first thing that I have been dying to cast on, and I'm thinking about it now and thinking hard about it. And then the second thing that just came out is Wool and Pine released a new top in the last few days that I've seen, and it is called Sundial. A while back, they released the Sundial wrap, which is a big, long, rectangular wrap, and it is knit in mosaic stitch. And the deal is that the pattern kind of flows seamlessly into each other because you are sort of moving through your colors. And every section, well, so it depends on whether you're looking at the top or the wrap. I know for the top, so the way it starts is you start kind of in a solid color at the top, and then that color becomes the mosaic stitch over another color, and then you add the next color, and the second color becomes the mosaic stitch over that color, and so it just sort of melts downward in colors. It's really, really cool looking. I wish I could show you, but of course I'm taping on my phone, so I can't show you my phone. I will put a link to it in the show notes as well, because they definitely have their own website that you can purchase from. Anyway, it's a summer tee, and the thing that they talked about was that it's great for scraps, because they said basically you need 6 to 10 grams of each colorway to do each of the mosaic sections, and then you just bleed all the way down. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh, I have stuff that would be great for that. That would be a great mini project. So I pulled out some minis that I ordered a while ago, and I have to tell you, I love these minis beyond compare. That is why I ordered them. But I also have to admit that they are not very me and not really my color. So the minis, oh crap, I dropped one. Hang on. Oh, hold on 2 seconds. Okay. Skein down. So this is what I ordered, and I apologize for the crinkling. I didn't take them out because they're so beautifully laid out. This is McMullen Fiber Arts, and these are the colors. And this is, I know why I got it. I got it because I loved the teal, but then I also loved the rest of the colors that were very desert-like. Now, this top mostly works with semi-solids, so there are a couple variegateds in here, like this one, that I don't think I'll be able to use. But I was thinking about this as being my top. Now, the one problem with that is well, there are 2 problems. These skeins, first of all, these skeins are, they're superwash merino nylon. Each skein has 90 yards, 25 grams, so I will not need all of it. I had a couple things that I looked at when I looked at this. The first thing is, there's not as much contrast as I would like. There aren't as many dark skeins as I would like compared to the number of light skeins. And so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out, because of course the mosaic stitch will show up quite a bit better if there is more contrast between them. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the top has kind of, at the top it has a section in one color, and then it uses that color as the edges and then also as the bottom ribbing. And so I was trying to decide if I could find something that would go with that, and I went through my stash, and you're gonna laugh, this is turning into a Treasure Goddess podcast. She is a very dear friend. She dyes beautiful yarns, and I have a lot of it in my stash, so that's why it comes up. But I found this skein, which is sparkly of all things, but it is in her Copper Cove, and it's her Sparkle Toe sock. It's 75% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, 438 yards. So I think this would be great as the main color. The other thing that I love about it is I think it's better against my face than some of these deserty colors that I don't think make me look that good. The teal would be great against my face, but I don't think there's enough of it to do the whole top part. So what I was thinking is that I would pair this one with all of these minis, and then I would also, in a few cases, maybe use this as the dark, contrasting against the light. And like these blues are fairly close to each other, so maybe I would only use one of them. So I would use chunks from the set and basically come out with like a deserty tee. The only thing that I'm not sure about is, like I said, it's not really my colors. I really tend more towards jewel tones. Like the teal is the reason that I bought it. And originally I contacted her to see if I could get a couple full skeins of the teal, and that just didn't work out. So, and it doesn't match any other teal I have in my stash. Surprisingly, there are so many teals and it just doesn't match. So that is kind of where I'm at with this right now, and I'm kind of leaning towards this one to cast on, but I don't know. So, we'll see what I do. It just kind of depends how much time I have. I need to get to winding, gosh, I know I should swatch, but I might just go right in and start. So I'm really kind of excited about that, and I feel like maybe those two tops are going to be some of my summer knits, because I might even have 3 tops on the go, because that's kind of what I'm aiming towards right now. I am actually wearing a top that I finished this spring. This is Hoki Locatelli's hipster tee, and it has her hipster pattern here. I don't know if you remember me knitting this. This is also done in Treasure Goddess yarns. It's done in her yak toe sock. In the dark one is Song of the Sirens, and the light one is From the Depths She Rose, and it fits perfectly. I don't know if you remember, I knit this basically per pattern. The one thing that I did is I modified the neckline just a little bit. It was supposed to be a pretty deep V, and it would have been much deeper. And so what I did is I went ahead and just cast on the number of stitches that I wanted at the point that I wanted them, so that it would be a nice neckline, but that it wouldn't be quite as deep as I wanted. And then you join in the round and knit all the way to the bottom. So I am really pleased with it. Today is actually the first day I am wearing it, because I was really bad about weaving in the ends. This morning I saw it on my dresser and I was like, I am going to weave in the ends on that and wear that today. So that is what I am doing here. So I think that was a little bit of a crazy podcast, because I don't usually talk about the things I'm considering or whatever, but now you can see a little bit of what I am, what I have in my stash and what's coming up this summer. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you are having a lovely weekend. I am excited I have some laundry to do, and then I'm going to head out in just a little bit. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. I will post this on Monday, and I will be back in time to do another podcast next Monday. I don't know exactly how much content I'll have, but we'll see. That's kind of the fun of it all, right? I hope that you have a lovely week ahead, and I will say, as I always do, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.